Okay. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Wealth Wednesday show. We are super excited to see you, and we believe you have been living financially healthy. Today, we are going to discuss on how to uh, the importance of investing and why youths need to learn or acquire financial education. With me in the studio is none other than Sabrina Lam, the the founder and executive director of World of Money. Sabrina has been in the field since 2005, and she has done amazing work in educating about money, especially to the youths. And just to let you know, she's also the one who created a mobile app called Wekeza, that is Swahili, in Kenya and East Africa, that promotes people to acquire financial education as well as invest and learn money principles to help them achieve their financial goals and live better lives. She is also an author. She has written so many books. The one that caught my attention is it's titled "Do I Look Like an ATM?" That one really caught me my attention, and I know she's going to tell us more about how you can access her books later. So, Sabrina, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
It's an honor to be here, Sheila. Thank you so much for the invitation. Hujambo, hello everyone. I'm looking forward to this very engaging conversation. And as I
As
introduced, I'm Sabrina Lam, and I'm the founder and executive director of the World of Money, a New York City headquartered organization dedicated to providing immersive financial education for children, young people ages 7 to 18. I use the word immersive, Sheila, very intentionally, because sometimes when we think about financial education, it may be a workshop on budgeting or what have you, but we start everything. We provide lessons starting with your mindset, the financial history of the world. Very, very successful African, billionaires and successful entrepreneurs. It's so important for us to link history with financial education. And so we've been doing this work for 17 years. And also we have partnered with the YWCA of Metropolitan Chicago, determined to eradicate injustice no matter where and how it appears. And for World of Money, which is headquartered in New York City, we focus on, liberating children with financial education. So that's a short rant.
And I really loved it when I saw the work you're doing in Africa, especially in Kenya, Rwanda, Senegal, Ghana, especially in schools where you are helping students get to learn about money at an early age, because our mindsets are created in our childhood. And what we are seeing now in the world, I usually say we are having a financial epidemic, because most people, while they were growing up, they never had the opportunity to learn about money. They studied biology, they studied mathematics, they studied English, Swahili, but nobody taught them that how you think about money detects or directs how you will handle money. Now, what is financial education? Because we've been saying, people need to acquire financial education, and you are doing that, especially at the grassroots level. So how would you define financial education?
Mm. So, financial education is resetting one's relationship with one of the most powerful currencies on the planet besides love or your religion or spiritual practice, and that's money. Everything flows through money. And so, yes, children sometimes are not taught in their homes about the proper way to engage with this powerful currency. They're not taught it, but actually they are. sometimes they may be, taught about the relationship from a consumer standpoint, and running to Black Friday every November, which causes hysteria and the fear of missing out and feeling that one must have, some popular clothes on your body in order to prove your worth. That's financial education. But at World of Money, we reset, recalibrate this whole engagement to move children, young people, from only being consumers, Sheila, to being savers, to being investors, to being entrepreneurs, and really, really important, to becoming philanthropists. Now, someone listening, maybe there's a young person listening feeling, I don't have anything to give. I'm struggling. I don't have any work or whatever. Always walk into the world with what you do have. Everyone has something to give. And so as it relates to money, we must be all of those mindsets, all of those behaviors to properly engage with money. It's not just consumer, it's saving, because your life is worth saving, Sheila. Your life is worth saving. And until you understand that, it's going to be difficult for you to save any money, to invest, and to become an entrepreneur, to create another stream of income. Maybe you have a career, maybe you're studying to become an accountant or a lawyer or whatever, but then how can I create another stream of income in case something happens with my career? And then becoming a philanthropist. There's so many problems in the world and so many victories in the world, but using your time and your treasure to give back to the communities that are waiting for you to serve.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you said people learn about the kids have been taught about money, but in a different way, in a consumer perspective, but they've not been taught in an abundance perspective, where you save, we invest, and you engage in philanthropic activities. And I also like the statement that you said, everyone has something to give. I mean, it's just about opening your eyes and your mind. Being open-minded allows you to see the opportunities where you can give. Sabrina, someone might be watching us and wondering, okay, so how different is this financial education from the normal education we receive, based on the experience you've had teaching schools across Africa and in the United States?
So financial education is different from education because perhaps and education is very, very important, very, very important. However, financial education is a required life skill. In the United States and many countries throughout the world, you become a legal adult in the United States at age 18. At that time, the world considers you an adult, and you are legally responsible for adhering to the laws of money at age 18, Sheila, even if no one has taught you about the laws of money. And so it's different from education, because maybe you'll go to university, maybe you go to trade school or what have you. But the moment you become 18 years old, you're legally required for adhering to the laws of money, for understanding credit, for understanding contracts, for understanding, subprime mortgages and trusts and wills and budgeting and saving and all of that, even if no one has taught you. And while that may be unfair, that is the realities of the world.
Absolutely. And there's this quote that people say, so long as you are able to spend money, then you need to learn about money.
That's right.
That's right. We cannot say, okay, because you're 18 years old, you'll not learn about money, but you're spending, you're buying. Nowadays, we have credit cards for kids from 16. So if this kid doesn't know anything about money, they're going to max it out, and then they're going to have a problem, a debt situation for like 5-10 years, something they did at 16. which could have been avoided if they got education, financial literacy. Now, now we've already touched base most of the uh, things regards to financial education, but why do you think is financial education important for a youth? This is from a perspective where someone says, my mom pays my bills for me, my school fees is paid. I just started working, I need to compensate the 16 years I've spent in school, So why is it important for a youth to acquire financial education?
So we encourage youth, to young people,
Mhm.
to study those who are successful in the world, and who are financially successful, and watch and read, learn from the trajectory of their lives. They started their own financial, entrepreneurial education journey at a very, very young age. And many of them came from very, very vulnerable circumstances. So they didn't spend their way into becoming financially successful. No one said,
Mhm.
"Oh, if I buy 20 more dresses, I'm going to be financially successful." No. They started saving, they started learning how money works, they started creating their own businesses, they leveraged the power of their education in order to
Mhm.
be very successful. No one wakes up and says, if I get 1 month of salary, then I'll be a millionaire. Unless you're, getting a stock in a particular company. And so
Mm.
that's why it's very important for young people, because they have time on their side. If a young
Mhm.
person listening to this can start really, really young, there's no reason why they can't be millionaires and multimillionaires if they start putting a little bit away over time and purchase. If you're going to purchase something, make sure that you're purchasing something that has value to it. An asset is something that increases in value over time. This
Mm.
blouse, this shirt that I'm wearing has zero value. I purchased it, I spent what I'd spent on it, but it doesn't have any value anymore. There are very few assets in the world that have real value. I'll use that word again, an increase in
Mhm.
value over time, whether that's saving your money,
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, investing in stocks, mutual funds, all of those commodities, all of that, as well as real estate and community
Mhm.
service. And no matter where you are, whether you're in East Africa or in the West, it's the same approach. It's the same
Mhm.
reality. But sometimes we
Mhm.
feel that if we surround ourselves with a
Mhm.
closet filled, for example, right now, Sheila, I have a closet
Mhm.
filled of liabilities. Okay.
Mhm.
Right? All those clothes, the shoes, they're
Yeah.
liability. But sometimes
Mhm.
we feel if I have all the clothes and all the trinkets and everything, they have real meaning. They have zero meaning. That's how much I paid for it, but it doesn't have any real
Mhm.
financial value. Maybe for a
Mhm.
moment, my self esteem is improved, but then that goes away until I have to buy another dress to feel good again. What we're saying
Mhm.
is, you're perfect as you are. You don't need to spend one more dollar to prove your worth, and start
Mhm.
interacting with your money from an early
Mhm.
age so that you can grow into being and living a financially secure life. Very important.
Mhm. Hmm. I totally agree with you. Sometimes we tend to think the more we acquire, the more we will be satisfied. And unfortunately, this doesn't happen with the mind of the more I invest, the more I'll be satisfied in the future. But it happens with the more I acquire consumer products, the more I'll be satisfied, which is not true. It's actually doesn't happen like that. Now, you've been speaking about value. You just mentioned we need to focus on things that bring us more value. And I was just wondering, what are some of the things to consider before investing? And as a youth, what are some of the investments they can take advantage of?
hmm Well, it starts with financial education. I mean, you mentioned the mobile app that is still in beta, but YWCA, and we
Mm-hmm.
say do not invest until you understand how to invest and what to invest in and what you're doing. Everyone wants to invest. I say slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Because investing, you want a return on your investment. First, you need to
Yeah.
study, be
Mm-hmm.
patient, and
Mm-hmm.
grow over time. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't feel that we are, but we're already investors. I use the example of my blouse. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
investor from a
Mm-hmm.
consumer standpoint in this company.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get any benefit, financial benefit from it? No. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to invest in something in a company, look at the
Mm-hmm.
companies you already support as a consumer, and then
Mm-hmm.
study that company. Who's the
Mm-hmm.
CEO? What is their track record? What is their
Mm-hmm.
financial track record? Are they doing any business in your country? How are they
Mm-hmm.
supporting your country? Are they just taking profits out, or are they working with NGOs in your? So all of those questions you have to ask before you say, okay, I'm going to invest. In the other part, Sheila, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we look at get rich quick. We want to get rich quick. Stop. When,
Yeah.
get when those who want to get rich quick, they get lost quick. That's what happens. That's not
I
how
like
money
that.
works. Not how money
Yeah.
works. There's no overnight
Success.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no overnight success. Anyone that you
Yeah.
hear of in any industry that has become
Mm-hmm.
financially successful has been doing it a long time before you became aware of them. And so the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with investing, look at the long term. I'm willing to
Mm-hmm.
invest for the long term benefit of my supporting this company. So always look at the long term as a consumer, what companies do you already support, and then look at, investing in those companies.
Amazing. And I like the fact that you've mentioned investing takes time. And as a youth, you still have time at your disposal as compared to someone who wants to invest and they are 70. The lifespan of that person is limited as compared to a youth who is, let's say, 18 or 20 or even 25. You
Mhm.
still have a considerable amount of time that can allow for your investment to grow.
That's right.
And Sabrina, there's this thing I was just wondering. Some youths tend to, especially the Gen Z and millennials, they'll be asking, so I'm 22, why should I invest in real estate? Or why should I stress myself learning about stock markets? So what is the importance of why should a youth consider investing? And since we mentioned they still have time, are there specific investment tools you could maybe recommend?
Mhm, mhm. So definitely visit World of Money online. We have a self-guided course, worldofmoneyonline.org. And so it's a two-part questions you ask about real estate. Look around the world. Is there any place in the world, Sheila, where they are building more land to add to the earth?
No.
No,
No. And it
no.
will never happen, actually.
Right. And that's why real
Yeah.
estate is so valuable. When we look at
Yeah.
conflicts and wars,
Mhm.
long-term conflicts, it's over
Mhm.
land.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so the more I really encourage young people to always own,
Mhm.
that should be one of your earliest goals, is to own
Yeah.
where you live. Own a
Mhm.
piece of the rock. a piece of
Mhm.
earth where you live, because that
Mhm.
land always has value, and no one can tell you where you have to move or what you can do with your land, but land is an
Mhm.
asset that increases in value. And
Mhm.
also, what the second question was regarding investing, right? What was the second
Yeah.
question part?
Some investment tools you may recommend for youths.
Yeah, so definitely World of Money Online, Motley
Mhm.
Fool.
Mhm.
You understand that I am not guiding or telling anyone to go to any place to invest. I want you to
Yeah.
sit and learn, to become
Mhm.
fluent in the culture of
Mhm.
investing, to change one's
Yeah.
mindset, and then, set your goals and the companies that you're interested in to invest, because
Mhm.
you can lose money. You can,
Mhm.
but it
Mhm.
depends. If you are a conservative investor, are you an
Mhm.
aggressive investor? And having a
Mhm.
long-term approach as a young person, you should always look conservatively, so by the time you are 40, 50, 60 years old, you're financially
Mhm.
secure, so that not
Mhm.
only you, but your
Mhm.
children and your
Mhm.
children's children's children are financially successful. But as a young person starting right now, you can impact your future generations. And I encourage young people who may say, I'm only 20 or I'm 17. I can't think about
Mhm.
having children or whatever. But when you think about your long-term success, I want every young
Mhm.
person, in East Africa, across the world, to determine to
Yeah.
become multimillionaire, so that you can live
Mhm.
a financially secure life.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that you mentioned it's better to start early, because the earlier you start, the more chances you will have to create a better portfolio. Now we have one of the followers asking, he's called Tata Pefa. Sheila, what about if you are working but you have people and siblings you have to put through school? How do you get to invest?
Mhm.
Maybe you can take on that, Sabrina.
Mhm. So the question is that you have to spend money for school fees, and you don't
Yeah.
have enough money to invest. So
Yeah.
how can you invest without doing that? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
person is actually, yeah.
Yeah. So before, and that's a really great question. So before you invest, you should have
Mm-hmm.
at least 3 to 6 months of savings. 3 to 6 months of savings. No one should be investing unless you have 3 to 6 months of savings in case of an emergency, right? So this is not the time for your follower to invest until you have
Mm-hmm.
that money saved that you don't touch,
Mm-hmm.
that whatever
Mm-hmm.
emergency happens, that you can go to it. No one should be, and I'm a proponent of investing, but no one should
Mm-hmm.
invest until you've done your financial education, and then you
Yeah.
have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of saving. And because your
Mm-hmm.
follower seems that they're focused, they have to pay school fees, you know,
Mm-hmm.
taking, maybe if you can have, $5 or $20, just start putting that away. Maybe it's not time for your follower to invest right now, but now is the
Mm-hmm.
time for your follower to save money for your
Mm-hmm.
emergency fund. Then
Mm-hmm.
later and then you have the financial education. You understand what you're investing in and why and what the returns are and everything. Then you invest. It's not
Mm-hmm.
now. It's later.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that you mentioned the emergency fund, because, a lot of people, they tend to run into investing and then they don't have an emergency fund. So you find someone has bought, let's say, stocks with all the money they have. Then the following day, their car breaks down and they're unable to go to work or move around. Or maybe their tap gets messed up in the house, and
Mhm.
how they are stranded. And what the next thing they'll do is just get into debt to secure to sort out the situation. So you find in as much as the person was investing, that was not being smart,
Hmm. That's
because
right.
the money that they are going to get through debt, even if they'll earn as a return in investment, it cancels out the interest on debts. So I think having an emergency fund and focusing first on saving, create an emergency fund for 3 to 6 months, then you can now be able to start investing. I
That's
like the
right.
fact that you up. Now, Sabrina, we are almost coming to the end of our show, and I'd love you to tell us more about Wekeza,
Hmm.
because it's a mobile app that I have been going through it and I really like it. So, tell us a little bit more about it, and if someone would want to enroll, what's the process, and is it across East Africa or it's only for Kenya?
So it'll be available when we launch. I invite everyone to visit wakeza.com and
Mhm,
sign up
mhm,
to become, the early members of our global community. So in answer to your question, it'll be for everyone. And we lead with, being an educated investor. How about
mhm,
that? Being an educated investor. And just very quickly,
mhm,
why Keza came to me because I'm a global advocate for financial education and inclusion. And I was in
mhm,
attendance to a financial work a conference in Nairobi, and
mhm,
was doing some trainings at the University of Nairobi. And I understood, same in the West, that many people
mhm,
don't have access to be able to invest in investor education, and or
mhm.
they have to have the whole share of a company. For example, if it's Amazon, they need to have the
Yeah.
$2,000 to purchase the stock. And I said we need to eradicate the barriers to investing so that there's
Mhm,
true financial inclusion for all. And so,
mhm,
to stay tuned, and I invite all of you and all of your followers, Sheila, to visit wakeza.com and
mhm.
become a valued member, an educated member of the Wakeza community. Again,
Mhm.
we don't want people. Yes, the focus is for you to be able to invest. Yes, but
Yes.
wait, let's do this steps by steps by steps, because as you know,
Yeah.
Sheila, investing can be volatile. It can be lucrative, but it can also be
Mhm.
volatile.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to our audience, Wekeza is a Swahili word that means savings, right? Saving, Wekeza, saving in English. So this is a website and a mobile app you'd really want to have a look at it. I personally have checked in, and it's super amazing. And the fact that it's also, I saw, it's like you're running a campaign in schools for students. um
The Could you
the
clarify?
Wekeza, yeah, I'm saying, it's like you're also running a campaign for students in schools to learn about money through the app as well.
Well, it'll be for everyone. It's not just for
Okay.
students. World of Money is just for young
Mhm,
people ages 7 to
mhm,
21. Wakeza is
mhm,
for adults because, the laws of money and the laws of the world
mhm,
require that anyone who joins us needs to be a legal
mhm,
adult, ages 18 and above. So we have not launched yet. Just to clarify,
mhm,
everyone
mhm,
go to wakeza.com. I know there's other
mhm.
Wakeza type companies, but make sure you have
Yeah.
wakeza.com. That is our
Mhm.
company.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I believe I'm gonna attach the link to the website for this live stream, so that anyone might just click on it and have a look at it. Now, if anyone would want to get any of your books, are they on Amazon, or they can get them through the World of Money website?
Sure. So visit amazon.com for, many of my books. Do I look like an ATM, a parent's guide to
Yeah.
raising financially responsible children? That was one of my favorite books. But yes, everything is available on amazon.com.
Absolutely amazing. Once again, thank you so much, Sabrina, for being with us here. We really appreciate your time, and thank you for sharing your wisdom on matters of financial education and investing. To our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you have learned something, and as Sabrina said, ensure you check out wekeza.com as well as visit her website, World of Money. I know you will love some of her books. I already said one of them is Do I Look Like an ATM? That book, the title itself tells a lot more, and it's something you'd want to read. Now, until then, we hope you will continue living financially healthy. And Sabrina, maybe if you have a parting shot, then we can call it a day.
Sure. So our motto is learn, earn, save, invest, donate. Save because your life has meaning. Your life is worth
Mm-hmm.
saving. Thank you so
Mm.
much.
You're most welcome. Bye bye, everyone.